LeBron James will make an 18th straight All-Star appearance. This year it'll come at his old stomping grounds in Cleveland. Been a captain for the All-Star Game in each of the past 4 years since the format was introduced. His team has never lost. He's a captain once again. And in the Eastern Conference, Kevin Durant was named an All-Star captain for the second straight year. He'll be making his 12th appearance. Not expected to play, though, in this All-Star Game, much like last season when he was out because of injury. He was replaced by Jason Tatum in that one. So here's a look at the All-Star starters. Andrew Wiggins and Ja Morant both make their first appearances in the All-Star Game. Steph Curry back for the 8th time in 9 seasons. Giannis, Joel Embiid joining Durant in the front court. DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young in the backcourt. The All-Star Game reserves will be announced on February 3rd. All right, let's welcome in CBS Sports NBA Insider Bill Reiter. Bill, before we get started here, I'm not sure if I'm missing something, but Andrew Wiggins is an All-Star. What are we doing?
I think we're looking at a world in which fan voting, as popular as it may be with NBA fans, needs to be reevaluated. I mean, there is no scenario on the face of the earth, Akeem. You know, I know. I think Andrew Wiggins knows that he's an all-star, let alone an all-star starter. But this is the NBA. This is the world that we have right now.
So it's expected that he's going to start in the game. Kevin Durant, though, is expected to miss the All-Star game. He missed last year's All-Star game due to injury. Who would you like to replace Durant in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like the starters, we got the guys that we were supposed to have as it relates to those 5 guys. And so I'd like to see somebody maybe represented by that Nets team in James Harden. I know positionally that doesn't make sense, but DeMar DeRozan hasn't played guard in a long time. Now, I voted for DeRozan at guard because that's where he qualifies. I'd love to see DeRozan be able to slide to forward and be able to get teammate James Harden, who I think quietly under the radar is having a pretty nice season, leads the NBA in assists.
What are the odds that Andrew Wiggins is the last starter selected in the draft? Like, that's pretty high, right? Like minus 500.
I mean, it really... Yeah, it depends on the order, because I think the odds are even higher that LeBron James, if he actually goes through with being the captain and selecting the team, will under no circumstances, under no scenario, for no reason, select Andrew Wiggins to be a part of his team. So as long as it isn't like the last pick, and LeBron, yeah, I mean, it's going to be probably Andrew Wiggins the last dude. And look, I'm not trying to disrespect Andrew Wiggins. Congratulations to the guy, and congratulations to Warriors fans who got him in. But he's just not on the level of any of those players or the other players who will be a part of that event. He's
averaging 18 points and 4 rebounds per game. Those are not all-star numbers. I mean, look, those are role player type numbers. Those are not all-star starter type numbers. And you remember he was dealt. He never got to play with LeBron James because LeBron James wanted Kevin Love. So Andrew Wiggins got shipped out alongside Anthony Bennett. And Kevin Love was the one that came to Cleveland for LeBron James to help him win a title. So maybe LeBron would be like, no. Kevin, you can have Andrew Wiggins. I'll just play with 4 starters. I'm obviously joking here, but like, could you see a scenario where LeBron is like, all right, yeah, let me see what Andrew Wiggins has. I'll draft him.
I mean, look, Akeem, things change, people evolve, people grow. I can just tell you that back when that went down, when the Cavaliers moved on from Wiggins and brought in Kevin Love, I reported at the time, and I wasn't the only one, but I reported at the time that LeBron and LeBron's folks were very put out that Andrew Wiggins did not choose Clutch Sports, which is run by LeBron's good buddy Rich Paul, to represent Wiggins. And there was certainly a lot of speculation from folks in the know in that organization that Wiggins was persona non grata with LeBron James, and a lot of petty slights I was told about. So to answer your question, I think it's very unlikely that for LeBron it is water under the bridge.
We'll see about that. We will see about it. It's going to be in Cleveland, too, which I can't wait. So that adds another layer to the story and the All-Star Game, which I know a lot of people sometimes don't get excited about the All-Star Game. I still get excited about the All-Star Game, especially since it's in my hometown in Cleveland, and maybe Darius Garland will be there. Hashtag let him know, Bill. Reserves are going to be announced next Thursday. Who's a player or two you'd like to get selected?
Yeah, I think Darius Garland's a guy that absolutely 100% belongs on that list. I mean, I think it's interesting, and I know this isn't the way the All-Star Game works, and the rules of how you're supposed to evaluate these things vary, But for me, it's sort of like voting for the MVP, but it's obviously a much larger list than 3 or 5 guys, right? You can expand it. Really, we should expand it to 30 guys. I want to look at teams that are at the top of the standings and find guys who have value on those teams. I think Draymond Green, for me, should have absolutely been a starter. He needs to be an all-star. I know he's only played 34 games, and his stats don't jump off the page. He's basically averaging 7.5, 7.5, and 7.5, but I'm with Quinn Snyder. I think he's an MVP candidate for the league, so he's certainly, I think, an all-star. Someone from the Cleveland Cavaliers, your Cavaliers, Hakeem, has to be on that list, and Garland's probably the guy because of how well they're playing. I know Jimmy Butler hasn't been healthy for a big chunk of the year, but he's a huge part of what goes right when things go right in Miami. Those, for me, are the names that I would look at.
All right.
Rudy Gobert. I mean, there's so many. Don't you know, like, Rudy Gobert's a guy that should 100% be on that list.
Yeah, you're making good cases. You certainly are. I'll just remind people that fans' votes were weighted at 50% in selecting starters, while players and media members like yourself counted for 25% apiece. So good on Golden State Warriors fans to get Andrew Wiggins into the All-Star game as a starter. So congratulations to him. Have an All-Star game, kid. Bill Reiter, appreciate the insight here on HQ. And LeBron James has been a captain for the All-Star game in each of the 4 years since the format was introduced. His team has never lost. Wins against Steph Curry's team, Giannis twice, and then Kevin Durant last season. As you take a look at the 2 captains, the NBA All-Star reserves will be chosen by head coaches, revealed next Thursday. KD and LeBron will draft their teams on February 10th, which is also the day of the NBA trade deadline.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.